Hello YouTube. Sorry if I'm a little out of breath. I just took this for a little test spin to check out some of the latest components that I had put on. I had some trouble with my last upgrade. I'll share with you some of the issues so that if you decide to do the same on your base stump jumper, you can either expect or how to mitigate those things. So just a quick recap, some of the things that I have replaced: of course, a sexy new stem, the float DPS, can't remember, Elite Performance Elite, that's what it is. Came off of a Santa Cruz Tall Boy, and now it sits on my bike. I just had to adjust the volume spacers a bit on that. I had last told you I had put the dub bottom bracket and a 32 tooth GX crank on there. Now with that, I'd already had a GX derailleur and an XX1 shifter. So kind of, my wife said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "How about a GX cassette?" So I got that, and to get it installed on a base stump jumper is a little tricky because the base stump jumper has that Shimano HG hub, and you need to transfer that to a XD compatible hub now, or at least the hub body. The issue with that is the stock hubs that come on here, which are kind of unbranded, they just give the boost space in. They're probably, by Specialized's in-house brand, but the problem with them is they don't just accept bodies from either DT Swiss or any of the numerous other people that make them. It's pretty specific. So after doing a little dig around, seeing some other videos that people had posted, I saw that there's two options. You could either get a whole new wheel, you can get a new hub and get your wheel respoked, or you can do the third and cheapest, most cost-effective option, is get a Specialized XD 3-pawl hub body that is specifically made to go on this standard stock hub. Now, just so you know, the process of doing that is actually pretty simple. You take your wheel off, undo the cassette that's on there, which uses just a standard cassette tool, which the GX and presumably any other cassette you want to throw on there also uses that standard cassette removal tool. Not a big deal. Pull that off, and the hub body more or less just kind of pulls off. You might have to stick a finger or something underneath just to push the pawl out of the way, but that wasn't no biggie. Now where it comes into an issue is after I got that back on there, now I'd already gone from a 30 tooth to a 32 tooth on the crank, and I never changed my chain at all. So I ended up picking up a GX chain, and when I put this on here, I'd originally replaced with a GX chain, and I kept it actually the same size. It seemed to work because honestly, the difference between a 30 tooth and a 32 tooth is really just one additional tooth at any given point in time thrown in the mix on the chain. So it's within the margin. You don't really have to adjust your chain. But I threw a GX chain on anyways, just because I didn't feel like it was really running as crisply or as smoothly as I wanted. So now I kind of felt like an idiot that I had a brand new chain that I didn't even get a chance to take on the trails, threw this new cassette on, and now we're gonna have an issue because it went from a 11 to 50 tooth to a 10 to 52 tooth. So I was a little concerned that the additional 2 teeth on the crank, plus now an additional 2 teeth on the back, we might have some issues. So in my haste, I threw a couple extra links on the chain. I think I put 3 extra links on the chain, and I ended up using an extra the power link And when I threw it on there, it was a disaster. My derailleur went all up into the cassette, and the chain was obviously way too long. So I removed all the extra links that I put on, threw it back on, and it was fine, ish. It still wasn't as smooth as I liked, so I was kind of getting frustrated, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna start fresh. Sorry, I'm taking a seat here. I'm gonna start fresh. I'm gonna order a brand new chain. I'm gonna go through, you know, how SRAM says to size a chain, which is wrap it around the chain ring, wrap it around the longest or the largest sprocket you have, where they meet in the middle, add 2 to 3. I even let out all the air on my rear shock, compressed it all the way down so you're getting the maximum amount of chain you could possibly need, and did that. I went with 3 chain links instead of the 2, figured err on the size of too long, and threw it back on there, and it was in fact too long. I took out a link, and as you can see now, I think it looks pretty good. I just took it for a spin, and I gotta say, the GX cassette, usually, like 90% of the time, it shifts super quiet and smooth, but I think occasionally you might get a loud shift. I wasn't really putting it under load, but I think it's because if you look at the cassette, like the way it's designed, you know, with this tooth pattern here is designed to help aid the chain either going up or off of the cassette, right? So every gear has these kind of step offs or whatever, I don't even know what you want to call them. Like you see, there's one there really well. Those are meant to produce a smoother shift, right? But the thing is, if you're not landing on that part, if it's shifting when the chain at the high point is on here, you're gonna get some noise and clatter. All right, so, but I will say it is significantly quieter and smoother than what was on there previously. Just something I would say I would do. Some of that noise and not really feeling comfy with the way my bike was shifting. Okay, Siri wants to add in some input here, but some of that lack of smoothness in the shifting. When I took the chain off to replace the chain with a new one, I went through, and without the chain on, I went and I adjusted the high-low and the B limit, and even I took the cable back out of the derailleur, and set the high-low just by manually pushing the derailleur over without the cable on there. Then I put the cable on, confirmed my high-low engagement. You can see, I think I got it lined up pretty good. And another thing, I should shift it through the gears really quick to show you, because I've seen a lot of people say they can't backpedal on that 52 tooth gear without the chain falling off. Well, I think I might know either the cause or a solution to that. It might be that B gap, because even though I had my bike shop installed the GX derailleur to replace the SX that was on here, and somewhere along in the process I got all the paperwork in the box and everything, but they didn't leave the B gap adjustment tool in there. So I don't know, I didn't really feel comfortable. I couldn't find a SRAM B gap tool specifically for the 12-speed 52 tooth, and I didn't want to go with an off-brand one, but I did see through SRAM they tell you how to adjust the B gap without a tool, and I saw somebody posted in one of the groups an even easier way to do it. But if you want to know that, what you do is you shift into the second to the highest gear, so be this one up here, and you want to look at the top pulley and basically kind of run, backpedal it through there. And what you want to do is you want the two teeth the teeth from the top gear, so the top gear, right? and the tooth on that top pulley, you want them to just intersect so slightly, like maybe a little, either anywhere from a smidgen of a gap between the two to just slightly touching, and you're gonna be happy with the results. I mean, I should probably take a minute to shift up through so I can maybe see if I can show you how mine are lined up. But yeah, I tested it backpedaling on my work stand, and just now going up and down the road, I intentionally put it in that high gear and backpedaled under speed, kind of under normal conditions, and absolutely no chain slip or any issues whatsoever. So if you have that issue, try adjusting your B-gap. That's my advice to you. But yeah, if you're overall, I'm super happy with putting that 10 to 52 tooth on there. I doubt I'll ever use the 52 tooth gear, but I do like the idea of having a little bit faster on the high end. Yeah, it's just so much smoother than the stock stuff. And right now, as it stands, other than the fork and the brakes, everything else on this bike has been replaced. I think I'm good. I don't want to have too much of an issue, but either that or maybe, I'll say maybe. Every time I say the only thing I could possibly want to change in the future, it seems like 2 months later I'm changing it. But I'm kind of pot committed with the GX drivetrain that I got on here now. But my God, that new SRAM transmission is looking a little spicy. And we do have a UDH on these bikes, so in theory, the base alloy should be able to take that new drivetrain system from SRAM. But again, you're talking, are you really gonna buy a now $2,000 bike and throw a $2,000 drivetrain on it? I mean, I've done dumber things with money, but I don't know if it's actually needed. But I will link in the description the hub body that you need to do this. And again, it is completely drop-in compatible. You use the same axle, use the, one thing with it. So when you take the HG hub body off, there's two like spacer, there's spacers. There's two, round cone cylinders in there that are on the HG body. You do need one of those for your XD body, but that's it. You use the same end cap that you take off, so make sure you don't throw that away. I almost made that mistake. So you use the same end cap, same axle, one of the spacers, and it's easy peasy, and you'll be super happy. Plus, I know everyone wants the sound check, right? Sorry, I can't do it with my bike against this log. Hold on one second. All right. I don't know if it's exactly the same noise level, but it seemed to me it's slightly louder, which, that's the only time we want our bikes to actually make noise, is when we want them to make noise. So, yeah, so let me get my bike back in a area where, sorry, we had some spring tree damage, and I haven't gotten around to busting out the chainsaw yet. But yeah, so leave comments if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to try to help you modify your bike, because at this point, I don't know if I like wrenching on my bike more than I like riding on it, or just trying to make it look cool and pretty. But anyways, have fun, enjoy, and maybe we'll see you all out on the trails later.